Hey, Kin 1030 students. We are in week 6. We are moving right along. And so let's take a look at what you have coming up this week in lecture. It overlaps a little bit with your lab this week. It's going to do that occasionally. So here I am on our home page. A couple things I can look at. I can go to content and look at the course schedule down here on the left, and scroll down to week 6. Depending on when you're watching this, you may still be finishing up week 5 material. That is your chapter 5 material. We also had a pre-lab for stoichiometry, which is due in the Dropbox by Sunday. That overlaps with lecture. We'll talk about that in a minute. Make sure you get that in the Dropbox, and you have a pre-lab for experiment 6, which you're doing. Actually, I think 6 is the stoichiometry, 5 is the experiment you're doing. Professor Molish will talk a little bit more about that. But here we are in week 6. You're beginning week 6 this week. You are doing experiment 5 in your on-ground lab. So 6 is the stoichiometry. All you have due for lecture is a discussion board right here by Sunday, and your stoichiometry homework in the Dropbox by Saturday. There is no chapter this week. So this is a great week to go back and start reviewing things that we've already covered that you may need to review, and focus on that stoichiometry because we've seen it before, and really get a handle on it as we move toward week 7, the week of fall break, and your midterm exam. Your midterm exam is coming up. It will cover all the material up to this point, up to the week of the midterm exam. So I'm going to come back here to the table of contents, and I'm going to scroll down to our week 6. There we go. Week 6 is in module 2. All right. Beginning September 25th. We have, again, if I look underneath week 6 here on the left, we have an overview, a folder for lecture, and a folder for lab. The week 6 overview is here, along with the videos from your lecture and your lab. You'll see those there. This is the video you're watching. There is a discussion board activity. We're working on stoichiometry in lecture, and you're doing experiment 5 in lab. There is a Dropbox, which you normally use for lab, for the stoichiometry stuff. So be aware of that. Let me come back out to week 6. Give it a second. Again, for week 6, there's an overview, a section for lab, a lecture, and a section for lab. Now you can see them here, but they're collapsed. If you want to expand them, I'll expand the lecture. For the lecture, there is a productivity discussion board, and if I click on it over here on the left, I can actually see the description. It's quite involved. This is a time for reflection, talk about what you've been doing, what you want to do going forward. This is a great way to sit and focus on what do I need to do to prepare for the midterm. So take this seriously, and I'll be grading these after the due date. The due date is October 1st. Okay. Another section in lecture is our stoichiometry, and again, if I click on it, it expands it a little bit. And essentially what we're doing is we're focusing on stoichiometry this week. Experiment 6 is labeled stoichiometry in your lab, but it's here tied to lecture. Once you've finished the pre-lab for experiment 6, which you did last week, or you're wrapping it up depending on when you're watching this, then you can work on that stoichiometry homework and turn it into a Dropbox. Let me come back out here to stoichiometry. Click, click, click. Think, think, think. All right. This video, which you see here under stoichiometry, is not visible unless you turned in the pre-lab assignment. So the pre-lab assignment was due last week. It's actually due this weekend because I'm making this video on Friday. But if you miss the deadline, you still should attempt it and turn it in. Won't be graded for a grade, but this allows you to see this correction video. Very important to get something up there in that Dropbox. Of course, you want your best effort and on time, if at all possible, so that you can see this video. So this video becomes available. This is September 26th. It's not available until Tuesday. And only if you turn something into the Dropbox. And so here is a repeat of the guided lecture notes. You've seen these before. I'm going to click into it over here on the left so that we can expand it a little bit. These you've seen before. These two videos you've seen before. They go with Chapter 3. Please watch them again. I'll expand them a little bit. Watch them again and take notes, and it will help you with that pre-lab stuff if you're still working on that, and your stoichiometry assignment. All right, you've got a bunch of examples of solved stoichiometry problems here and some videos, so take a look at those. Post on the discussion board if you want to see anything else. There are the videos for those worked problems. And then your stoichiometry homework assignment. This assignment is due September 30th in this Dropbox. It is a worksheet. The answers are given. You just have to show, how do I calculate them? The process is very important for this. We're grading the process as much as we're grading the answer. Getting the correct answer isn't good enough. You have to work the problems in the correct fashion. And you've got lots of worked out examples for you, lots of practice for you, but I'm happy to give you more if you want more. So this is a week we can focus on the stoichiometry. Take a minute and go back and look at chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're finishing up 5, this past week. Ask if you have any questions over those. Get your thoughts together. Go back and review your Pearson homework. This is a great week to take a deep breath, focus on stoichiometry, but also take a minute and review the stuff that you've already done and ask questions. So hopefully this helps. Professor Molish will be talking with you a little bit more about what's coming up in lab, including the experiment that you're doing and getting that stoichiometry assignment ready. Make sure that you attempt the stoichiometry homework, which isn't due till the weekend, but attempt that before you go to lab, because she's going to be able to help you with questions after you perform this experiment. So you have time in lab this week to ask questions about stoichiometry with Professor Molish right there. So make sure that you've attempted that homework before you get there. At least begin it so that you can see if you're going to have some questions. All right, I hope this helps.